You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Hey, welcome to I Am Refocused Radio, man. We are here once again, and today, man, we have another true honor talking to our special guest for today. We're going to talk to a writer, Gary Scott Smith. He is the author of this new amazing Jackie Robinson book called The Strength for the Fight. And this is a special book because you really dive deep into not just his spiritual life, but obviously his impact with civil rights and also with baseball. So without further ado, man, I just want to welcome you to the show and say how you doing, man.
Thank you, Shamaya. It's my pleasure to be with you.
So tell us, man, about this book, this book, Strength for the Fight. What inspired you to write this in a certain way? Because there are books out there on Jackie Robinson, but this one's different.
Well, this, of course, is the 75th anniversary of Jackie Robinson's first game. And this year is also the 50th anniversary of his death. So it seemed like an opportune time to do a new biography of Robinson. I long taught sports history at a college and am very interested in sports and have long been fascinated by Jackie Robinson. And I felt that there were no books out there that did sufficient justice to how deeply and significantly his faith had impacted not only his career as a baseball player, but his subsequent career in civil rights activism. So I wanted to write a book that would detail and flesh out all of that kind of activity and how his faith informed what he did.
And you also talk about the relationship with Branch Rickey and how that played a huge role. Can you touch on that for the audience?
Sure. Well, Branch Rickey, of course, was the general manager of the Brooklyn Dodgers, the one that wanted to break the color barrier in Major League Baseball, scouted around for candidates for quite a while, and finally determined for a variety of reasons that Jackie Robinson would be the best person to do it. One of the reasons he came to that conclusion was that they were both Methodists that had strong faith in God, and they shared that background. And Branch Rickey was convinced that Robinson would be able to withstand the immense pressure that he would face in being the first Black player for a long, long time and breaking the color barrier in modern Major League Baseball. So he obviously made a wise choice. Robinson's faith allowed him to stand up against the taunts, the ridicule, the death threats, the spikings, the beanballs, all the negative aspects that he faced in this incredible quest and successful quest to integrate Major League Baseball.
And like you said, he was a leader in the civil rights movement and spearheaded the integration of Major League Baseball in the 1940s. When you look at Jackie Robinson's life and how he was able to not just be a leader in civil rights, but also express his faith and his spiritual side, how important is that for the readers to take away from your book? The fact that he wasn't afraid to show his faith and use that as an inspirational tool and using his platform.
Well, I think, of course, it was incredibly important. In fact, I think without his faith, he would have not been able to do what he did. He often mentioned that he prayed. Rachel, his wife, mentioned how important prayer was to him. Other people who knew him mentioned that his deep faith in God gave him a sense of inner peace, courage, motivation, perseverance, all the things that he needed to succeed in the midst of the trials and tribulations that he faced. When you move on to civil rights, I would argue that his belief that God created all people in his image and all people were equal, all people were equally valuable, led him to be a civil rights crusader. He was involved in Congregationalist and United Church of Christ and Methodist churches his entire adult life. And those churches had a shaping impact upon him, as did his reading of the Bible. From that, he took the point that social justice was a major concern to God and something that he wanted to pursue with all his strength to try to improve opportunities for people of color and break down racial barriers and discrimination.
And once again, true honor talking to our special guest today, Gary Scott Smith, the author of this amazing new book that is coming out September 13th. It is Strength for the Fight, the Life and Faith of Jackie Robinson. And we mentioned civil rights that he was a part of 1956 through 1972. You touched on that portion of the book, Still Slaying Dragons. What's some key takeaways that readers can appreciate when they read that section of the book?
Well, Martin Luther King Jr. said that Jackie Robinson is the true founder of the civil rights movement. And King and Robinson were friends up until King's assassination in 1968, and had a strong relationship. They disagreed about the Vietnam War, but other than that, they were very similar in their attitude toward civil rights. Lots of other leaders of the movement were friends of Robinson, were influenced by Robinson. He participated and helped organize civil rights protest marches. He wrote hundreds of opinion pieces advocating improved civil rights opportunities, improved civil rights for people of color in the United States and around the world. He also created a number of businesses that sought to provide employment for African Americans in the New York City area where he lived. So overall, I would say that he is arguably one of the most important civil rights leaders, certainly the most important athlete of his generation in terms of promoting civil rights. Barack Obama said famously that there's a straight line from what Jackie Robinson did to my becoming president of the United States. So indeed, he had a huge impact on a variety of later African Americans who achieved fame, and lots of ones who simply achieved better opportunities in American society.
The fact that he had a spiritual side and to really look into it closely, what would you say as far as athletes today can probably learn from his story being a man of faith?
Well, there are obviously lots of sports figures who are strong believers in God, and many of whom are Christians. Significant percentage, particularly in the National Football League. But we still have quite a few people in Major League Baseball and in National Basketball Association. I say to a person, these athletes would say that their faith in God enables them to practice their craft more faithfully, more in a better way, in a more successful way, but it also makes them better people. And these athletes are concerned, most of them at least, not only with their performance on the field, but their influence in life, especially as a role model for younger people. So in all those ways, I think that they can look to Jackie Robinson as a great role model who stood up against all the taunts and the negativity and the horrible things that were done to him during the first year of his career in 1947 particularly, and used that as a model for trying to have a positive influence in society.
Once again, true honor talking to our special guest for today, the one and only Gary Scott Smith, and the new book that you can get very soon, September 13th, Strength for the Fight, the Life and Faith of Jackie Robinson. I think this is a great read for those who want insight on how faith can shape someone's life and basically just enhance their whole story. And it's a unique perspective. I want to say thank you for taking time in your schedule, but also you are also known for, author and editor of 18 other books, including Duty and Destiny, the Life and Faith of Winston Churchill, and also Religion in the Oval Office, the Religious Lives of American Presidents. How can people find your books online and reach out to you if they ever want to talk to you?
Well, all my books are available at Amazon.com and usually at a substantially reduced price. And if anybody wants to reach out to me, I'm happy to supply my email address, which is G as in Gary, S as in Scott, Smith at gccgeorgecharliecharlie.edu.
Once again, I want to say thank you to you, Gary Scott Smith, and for the audience, make sure you go check out his book, the amazing new one that's coming very soon, September 13th. It is Strength for the Fight, the Life and Faith of Jackie Robinson. I want to say thank you, sir, for your time.
Well, Shemaiah, it's great to talk to you. Blessings in your work.